Welcome to the Little League Softball Regionals on ESPN, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. It's day number 3 of the Little League Softball Southwest Regional. At the end of the day, we will send one team to the regional championship game. We got a rematch of the game that opened up here in Waco. It is the Greater Helotes Little League All-Stars representing Texas West, taking on the All-Stars from Industrial Little League out of tiny Inez, Texas, representing Texas East. Our second game today, Oklahoma and Louisiana. Winner there goes all the way to the championship game. But we are getting set for a rematch, and quite a rematch at that. With Nicole Mendez, I'm Lowell Galindo. Welcome back to Waco. We opened up with this matchup with Texas West, Texas East. We were excited to see what these two teams had to offer. They did not disappoint. It was a 2-0 win for Texas West, thanks in large part to Avery Cox, who was simply unstoppable in the circle and in the box.
Avery Cox, whew, talk about a spark in this tournament. She has been phenomenal. Very first opening day, she didn't have 1, not 2, but 13 strikeouts on the day. I love the celebration from her. She sheaths that sword. She's able to get all the strikeouts, but then also she's a two-way player. She hit a home run that game, and then the very next day she hit another one. She actually leads all of Little League regionals with 2 home runs all across the country. Doing it all.
And for the All-Stars from Industrial Little League, they know all about her from playing in the state of Texas, need to adjust to the velo this time around and get more knocks, as Kinsey Chambliss, the only player from Industrial Little League that was able to get a hit off the ace, Avery Cox, in game number 1. So what's on the line? Well, it's pretty simple. You win this game, you get to play on ESPN tomorrow. Summer continues. Nicole, you lose, and it's back to school shopping. Wah, wah, wah.
I think both of these teams having the familiarity, there's going to be a little bit more fight, a little bit more scrap between these two. They're going to see some new pitching, some new strategies. It's going to be a great game. That first one, just 2-0. It was already a close game. I'm excited to see what the offense does this game.
Well, Texas East threw Elle Collins in game number 1. They are throwing Kirsten Thomas in this rematch. She replaced Collins after Collins tweaked her leg on a slide into home plate. So Thomas, first pitch to Avery Cox. As mentioned by Nicole, 2 home runs, 1 in each game she has played thus far. Continuous batting order for all teams in Little League Softball, meaning every player on the roster gets to hit. And for Greater Helotes, a 13-person roster. Cox with the ground ball to second base. Kinsey Weinheimer makes the play, and 1 down. What are you looking for with Kirsten Thomas? 0-0 in the circle.
0-0 indeed. I think she's double the trouble. She has a curve, but she can also go to her changeup. She has a knuckle changeup. She's able to throw both of those effectively. She gets a lot of ground balls. She likes to work fast, but that's great because her defense works fast behind her. It gets easy ground balls.
This is Jackie Rubio hitting in the 2 spot. Starting catcher, only started catching this season. One day wants to be an FBI agent. She's 12 years old. A lot of time to think about what that next step is. And this is lifted to shortstop. And there to make the play is Elle Collins, who has been sensational defensively and offensively as well.
And I mentioned how quickly Thomas likes to work. She's a couple pitches in already, 2 quick outs. She's gonna get those hitters to look at these pitches, go, ooh, that looks really good, let me swing. And by the time the barrel gets there, it's just half an inch outside of that zone.
Strike number 1 to Aubrey Montez, hitting in the 3 spot. Her dad, Jesse, has become one of the stars of this regional with his luchador mask and his amazing outfit that we will see in the stands.
I got to talk to her yesterday, and she said, hey, make sure you give my dad his 20 minutes of fame again.
he's up to about 40 minutes now. He's eclipsed that by far. And there was Jesse. Awesome to see the parents in the different ways they come out to support their kiddos. Shade is a must, another hot day. Temperatures expected to increase as we get closer to the championship game. on Wednesday. Hit well up the middle. Collins is there, silky smooth at shortstop, and what an inning for Kirsten Thomas to start. And we will see the Industrial Little League bats when we return. Texas East out of Inez, Texas, Industrial Little League. This group of girls, most of them one day will play for Industrial High School. They will all be Cobras in the future, but right now, trying to keep this summer dream going. Collins, New, and Eagles. 1, 2, 3 in the lineup. Collins and New combined to drive in 4 of the 5 runs they had in that 5-4 win against New Mexico to stay alive yesterday.
Yeah, this team you mentioned, not only will they play high school together, but they've played together since T-ball. This is a team that knows each other inside and out. And whenever your backs are against a wall, we mentioned school shopping, that's what's at stake. They don't want to go quite yet. Knowing who your teammates are, hitting in front of you, hitting behind you, that really makes a difference as far as trusting it, especially whenever you're facing one of the best pitchers that we've seen in this regional across the country, Avery Cox. She throws 65 miles an hour. She throws a lot of heat.
So that is absolute gas, and that's coming from 40 feet away, so 3 feet closer than they pitch on the college level. Jamie Collins, one of the coaches for Industrial Little League, said that we know Avery Cox very well from playing in the state of Texas. She's almost a Little League legend in the Lone Star State, and made the point that legitimately she is one of the best pitchers for her age in all of youth softball. She is that well known.
Yeah, whenever you're in 12U and you're throwing that hard, that's the kind of speed that you see in college.
Collins also said before the first game, they had a plan. They did crank up the pitching machines, and in the weeks leading up to making their appearance here in Waco to try to get used to that velo, 63, 65. Also felt that maybe they were a little too excited in that first game. He wants them to spread out the stance, and in his words, just play pepper with the pitch.
Yeah, and whenever you're facing a pitcher that has velo like that, if you are trying to overswing and do too much and your timing is off, best place to start is, like you said, play pepper. Just find a way to make contact with that barrel.
And there it is, contact to shortstop. Rain with the throw, it's high. And legging it out is L. Collins with the infield single. Great way to start for Industrial Little League.
L. Collins fired up. This is a pitch low and away. She's a little early, which is a great adjustment. But look how hard she was running. That was about 10, 11 strides down from home to first. And a big stretch over to beat it out. That is huge. And already just a big adjustment from what we've seen from Industrial the last time they faced against Avery Cox.
Showing bunt is Georgia New. The slightly older of the New twin sisters, Addie New, hitting in the 7 spot. Their father, Devin, the manager of this Texas East club. And the bunt is fouled back. Now, Devin gave us some great advice about who was older. Said it's Georgia. Just be sure, do not mention that in front of the twins because there will be a fight.
Well, hey, he's got it locked down over there on first, getting everyone settled, but hopefully he gets to give his daughter a little bit of fist bump. A nice job whenever she gets down to first, looking to execute and move that runner.
And the runner is off to second. And there's a stolen base by L. Collins. And so creating some havoc on the bases. Get the leadoff foul and then go.
That was a good slide by Collins. And Wren reaching up to grab that. It's a good job hanging on to it. She trips over Collins as she's sliding in. Doesn't let that ball get away from her, though.
Bunt again, but this is foul. And on contact, Collins, who can scoot, trying to move up 60 more feet. Little League softball steal rules, just like we see in college, can move once the ball is released. 2-2 here to Georgia New. Going up against a hard throwing Avery Cox. And that is in there for strike 3. And there is a sword celebration. And the throw back to second base. Not in time, but strikeout number 1 for Avery Cox.
Avery Cox just going to where she feels most comfortable. Didn't get the last few calls, had a couple of foul balls. What does she do? She brings the ball up in the zone just a little bit. Able to get that third strike, freezes the batter.
And that's now a cool 20 strikeouts for Avery Cox in this Southwest Regional, as we are just a couple of batters into her third appearance. Taking on Bray Eagles. Wants to be a softball coach one day. And that is up. Small town, Inez, Texas, fewer than 3,000 people. Closest larger community is Victoria, Texas. This is what Little League is all about. Both these programs, tight-knit groups that have played together for a long, long time and really embody what Little League means. Playing with your friends, representing your community.
Right now, Avery Cox not needing to go to inside, even with her velocity. She's been staying away from these hitters, trying to make them chase, keep that posture, hit that low and outside.
The 1-2. And that is that elevated pitch that gave Industrial Little League so many fits in that first matchup.
That's the great thing about Avery Cox, is she can go to multiple different zones, multiple different levels. Seen behind the plate, Jackie Rubio asking for the sign again.
Eagles saw it a long time before letting that barrel go.
But already in just this inning alone, Industrial has done a much better job with their foul balls, with extending their at-bats and making Avery Cox throw. This is her third day in a row throwing. She's thrown 2 games, a phenomenal pitcher. But the more you see, the better it gets.
And has pitched every inning, every pitch to this point for Texas West. In terms of pitch eligibility, there's no rules with pitch count. It's all based off innings. You can pitch 6 complete and come back to pitch the next day. If you go beyond that, have to have a day rest. That comes into play if a game goes into extra innings. We play 6-inning games here in Little League Softball. 2-2 from Avery Cox to Bray Eagles. Been a good at-bat to this point for Eagles. Doesn't pull the trigger there. Collins moves up to third as that pitch gets away.
An Industrial in a great position right now. And you can see Elle Collins just cheering on her teammate and saying, "You got this, I believe in you." Stands 60 feet away. Not only Elle Collins, but we got some fans behind home plate in the stands. They want to make it known that they are cheering on their team.
The back pick to third, not in time for Collins, and that is a tremendous plate appearance by Bray Eagles to fight with 2 strikes like that.
Again, those were the kind of at-bats that we really didn't see from them their first time facing against each other. In Texas East, they've been making those adjustments. They're having the momentum, and I have to say it, I think it's the fans behind the stands. Look at them go.
Cheering on the future Industrial High School Cobras. And they have showed up They are allowed. They could be playing on this stage one day. And that's the really cool thing about this Industrial Little League squad is it just a few years ago, 2023, they were in the Southwest Regional. And a handful of the girls had sisters on that team. So they were in the stands like those little girls and boys behind home plate. Swing and a miss, 0-2. And again, a lot of attention being paid to Collins at third. You like the throws back to third base in this situation?
In this situation, I would make sure that my third baseman knows this ball is coming if I'm throwing back to her. Whenever you have that runner taking second base, so now you have runners on second and third for Texas East, but making sure that lead doesn't get too big. Now at third, there's not gonna be too much stealing, but with now runners on second and third and only one out, I wouldn't be surprised. We've seen Industrial play some crafty gamesmanship, some small ball, maybe trying to hit behind the runner, make sure that El Collins is able to get in.
Chambliss was the only player on this Industrial Little League squad that had a hit against Avery Cox in the first matchup. She's down 0-2. And Cox with strikeout number 2, sword number 2. Changing it up a little bit with the speeds.
This is huge. Cox being able to go to that off speed. Haven't seen it from her as much all series long, all regional long, but being able to give them a different look, a different speed.
Huge opportunity here for 0-0, Kirsten Thomas. 2 runners in scoring position. That's up and away, ball 1. Thomas wears 0-0. And her little brother and sister now wear that number because of Big Sis. Close, but no call, and it's 2-0. What are you looking for here if you're Kirsten Thomas?
I'm Kirsten Thomas. I'm looking for something a little bit lower in the zone. As you mentioned, they were chasing that first game up in the zone. I want to look for something low in the zone, maybe middle in.
Once again, going up and away like she did with the first pitch of the at-bat. And it's 3-0. Just take all the way.
Unless there's an action call, like a squeeze or something like that, I am taking all the way, getting my timing, and she gets it.
Second walk issued this inning, and the bases are loaded for Olivia Garcia.
The first outing that Avery Cox had, 13 strikeouts, just phenomenal. She was getting ahead early in counts. The second matchup that she had, it was against Oklahoma yesterday. She issued 6 walks. She would get 2 outs fairly quickly. And then from there, it was just struggling to finish out that inning, get that third out. We see that free pass. So if you're Avery Cox right now in your mind, resetting, and you saw her defense come in and be able to talk to her, just resetting and telling yourself, my stuff is so fast, I can trust it. I can trust my defense as well. Let it rip, let it fly. Let's find it in the zone.
And Texas East simply not helping out Avery Cox, not chasing like they did in game number 1. Garcia, big swing on the first pitch. Olivia Garcia, 12 years old.
She collects baseball cards. I love that. My nephew collects baseball cards. He got a Jose Altuve one the other day. I was like, that one's sick.
Another big cut. Nods her head. She feels like she's on it. Just missed. She tells her third base coach, Jimmy Collins. It's been a fantastic first inning with 2-strike discipline for Texas East. Can they do it again? That's low. And Garcia not chasing. 2 walks, 1 hit, and 2 strikeouts. The Industrial Little League trying to jump out to an early lead. And that's the pitch that Texas East was chasing in the first time through against Cox.
I think the biggest difference is Cox was working that pitch inside, tight on the hands. You have less time to react as a hitter. Whenever it's outside, you just get just enough time.
And that is a called third strike. And Cox gets the strikeout, her third of the inning, leaving the bases loaded. Cool, under pressure, Avery Cox.
Avery Cox, ice in her veins, gets the strikeout on the outside corner out of a bases loaded jam. We got ourselves a ball game.
The Little League Softball Regionals on ESPN, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. Look at the Brazos. I was telling you about this running trail, Nicole. You can go running there. You have no idea, if you've just driven down I-35 for years like me, that there was actual elevation change in Waco, Texas.
Oh yeah, I ran the other day and I definitely noticed the elevation change, best believe. It was nice to dip into the water afterwards, but man, it is hot here in Waco, Texas. These girls getting the early game. If I'm either one of these teams, I'm going, thank you, thank goodness. Get it before the sun gets too hot.
Kirsten Thomas back out to work. It was an 8-pitch first inning for Thomas. Decided to start her over Elle Collins. Throws a little softer than Collins. Collins is available to hop in if needed. First batter for Texas West out of Greater Helotes Little League is Kennedy White. Helotes, Texas, it's actually part of North San Antonio now, as that city has experienced rapid growth. But it is still held on to some of that small town feel in a tight-knit community. The manager, Allison Briseño. Her daughter, Bailey, is coming up next. Greater Helotes Little League won it all in 2016. Took the regional here in Waco before winning the Little League Softball World Series. As White is aboard, as Greater Helotes has its first base runner, and here comes the manager's daughter, Bailey Briseño. Her mom, Allison, center fielder at University of Incarnate Word, where she became the first softball player ever inducted into the Athletics Hall of Fame. Bailey, a bunt but foul.
Bailey just switched over to that left-handed side. She's been there for about a year, and Mom says it's been a fun transition. She has a lot of speed, and so utilizing what she has, that's why they decided to take her over to the left side. Mom knows best. She's been there. She's done that. But less than a year and already just looking so comfortable in that box.
And that is away from Addie New. Kennedy White moves up to scoring position. It is a Texas West team coming off a 6-1 loss against Oklahoma. Looking every bit like the team to beat here in Waco. It was an emotionally charged game. Both teams were certainly getting into it.
Definitely emotions were running high on both sides, and sometimes in games like that, whenever you have that tension, you have that chaos, all the emotions going on, it's really hard to calm yourself and reset yourself.
This one is popped foul.
Briseño making this a battle for Thomas. As you mentioned, 8 pitches last inning. Already, she's almost at that point. You really feel these hitters honing in this inning against.
Oh, what a glove! Bray Eagles soaring to flash the leather. Sports Center top 10 meet Bray Eagles.
Bray Eagles stretching out, diving, leaving her feet to be able to catch this ball. That is rocketed into that 5-6. Just stretching out. Talk about reaction time. And then look at her emotion. She is fired up, not for herself, but for her pitcher. That's the one that she looks to right away and says, I got you.
Good hands running the family for Bray Eagles, related to former University of Texas wide receiver Brennan Eagles.
I wonder if they practice that together. Hey, let's work on our hand-eye.
Certainly looks like it. Trevino the batter, and it's 1-1. That ball, by the way, by Bailey was laced. Emily wants to meet Amanda Scarborough. She will get that chance if Texas West wins this game. Or, even if they don't, they decide to hang around until tomorrow when Amanda makes her arrival, when we roll out the red carpet. Trevino fouls it back.
Besides the fact that Bray Eagles made literally a Sports Center top 10 catch, you have to feel so much more confident if you're Thomas. Looking around, seeing the defense that you have behind you. Even if you do miss a spot, even if they do hit it, your defense is gonna come up clutch.
How much of that, too, is just knowing each other so well? Like you said, I think 8 of these girls have played together since T-ball.
That confidence comes from, I don't even need a turnaround. I know where she's at. I don't need to worry about this girl's range or if she's able to make this throw with her arm. I know my teammates on the softball field, but even more importantly, I think, off the softball field, because that's where that trust is made. In this community, like you mentioned, back in 2023, there were a lot of little sisters, younger siblings of girls that were on that team that were watching. So they've been hanging out, they've been around it. They know what it takes.
Ball in the dirt allows Kennedy White to move up to third, 60 feet away now from getting Greater Helotes Little League on the board. A little high five there from her manager, Allison Briseño.
Getting a little bit of deja vu. We had Elle Collins with 1 out standing on third, and now same thing. They said, anything you can do, I can do too.
8th pitch of the at-bat. Up and away. And Trevino with the walk. 2nd of the inning issued by Thomas. He was flawless in that first frame. And there is Jesse Montez, super fan extraordinaire.
Wearing his corn cape, of course. What else would he be wearing?
Here's Peyton Oliveras, 12 years old, from Garcia Middle School. And a good recovery there by New. Make sure that White stays at third. That does allow Trevino to move up. So we'll see what happens here. The bottom of the first. We saw Texas East get the bases loaded. Couldn't scratch one across. See if the rubber duck aficionado, Peyton Oliveras, can turn that around here for Greater Helotes. To center field. The catch is made by Chambliss, throwing home, but that is going to score. Kennedy White, sac fly to center field, makes it 1-0 job. Well done by Peyton Olivares.
The flag is up and being raised. A lot of high fives coming in, not just for White, but for Olivares as well. It takes contact, it takes discipline to have those at-bats, and then to get that run across. That was something that Texas West, they did really well their first time meeting up. It was a tight game, just 2-0.
Here's Avery Cox's younger sister, Bailey Cox, and that's off the cap. Is it fielded foul or fair?
Just rolled foul. I felt like it kept wobbling between foul and fair. Towards that latter half, right before that ball was fielded, you can see it roll fair and then last minute roll foul. That was the right call.
Cox with a charge to left field. Goodness, all the way to the fence. Bailey Cox drives in a run. Big sister's gonna love that. She was climbing the fence yesterday like a madwoman, and today gets her teammates charging that fence.
She takes this inside pitch and just sends it deep over the head of left fielder Montoyas. This is clutch.
Ball in play by Lindley Reen. Cannot beat the throw, but the damage is done. All week long, we've been talking about Avery Cox, but it's little sister Bailey Cox that drives one to the fence and makes it 2-0 Texas West. Yesterday, Bailey Cox won our hearts by her antics in the dugout. Today, she does so because the rip to left field.
Big sister meet little sister. And they're climbing the fences for her. That's what she did yesterday whenever her big sister had a huge hit. Look at her sister just so fired up. I love this. The center fielder for Helotes comes in clutch. The score now 2-0 after a massive inning. And it was production in hard-fought at-bats. You go from your first inning seeing only 8 pitches to that next inning seeing 23. That team came into the dugout and they said, we need to make adjustments. School shopping, not yet.
Put that on pause. Bailey Cox, they call her Red Rocket because of that red hair. There's big sister Avery Cox. She's the team leader, but Bailey only 11 years old, so she is one of the youngest players on this team and comes through with one of the biggest hits since her sister and her 2 home runs. So Avery Cox back to work against Addie New, one of the 2 twins on this Industrial Little League squad. And in case you're wondering the link to the corn and the dugout for Greater Helotes Little League, Helotes got its name from the Spanish word elote, which is corn, and that crop is a big part of the history and life in Helotes, Texas. So they honor that with the corn and the dugout.
Hey, I'll take some corn. Look at that. They got corn rubber ducks. I don't even know where you find that. You know what? I do. They have a rubber duck aficionado, and she said, hold on, I know a guy.
Yeah, I know a guy. He can get you a duck that looks like a corn. And that's going to be a tough play, but well done there by Kennedy White and Bailey Briseño to retire Addie New.
Really impressive how Briseño, that was a slow roller, but she was stepped up the middle. So from second base, having to range all the way over, it became a foot race. Briseño being able to get to first base in time.
Kinsey Weinheimer is the hitter. Looking for her first knock here in Waco. That is down.
A little bit of a different look that we've seen from Avery Cox. That first time through, she focused a lot on that pitch up in the zone and then having tight in on the hands of these hitters. Now focusing a lot on her curveball working away. And you can see those hitters stepping up on that chalk line, even with her velocity. They're anticipating, I'm gonna see at least 1 or 2 pitches on that outside half, so I'm willing to get a little bit closer to that plate so I can reach that outside corner easier.
Kinsey puts it in play. Cox leaps for it, throws to first for the out, 2 down.
Right now seeing a huge adjustment from Cox. Whenever your offense has an outing like that, we talked about what it does for a pitcher whenever your defense steps up. But what it does as a pitcher whenever your offense steps up allows me to go, okay, I can take a breath, I can relax. I don't have to be so tight.
Zoe Gray now the hitter. And you just look back to the mindset for Industrial Little League, realizing they were so close to getting to her in that first inning with the bases loaded. But ultimately, Cox showed why she's so difficult to get to. And that is a one-of-a-kind arm. So 3 strikeouts to offset the 2 walks in that first inning. That's in their first strike. 1-1 to Zoe Gray. Call her Zozo. That skips, and it's 2-1. She swings a 33-inch bat. How significant is that size for this age?
Whenever you look at Zoe Gray, she's pretty tall. She looks to be pretty strong. 33, I think, is the right bat for her to be swinging, because the heavier the bat, the more pop, the more power you're able to get, because you accelerate through a little bit faster, have more momentum.
Here's the 2-2. Does not chase.
In college, you'll see those girls swinging 34-inch bats, or 24-inch.
Her coaches know it's just a matter of time before Zoe finds that power stroke and everything is going yard. This one handled by Cox and makes the play on time. So after running into some trouble in the first inning, no trouble here in the second for Avery Cox.
One pitch at a time. No matter how big the game is, concentrate on the job that needs to be done. Focus, breathe, appreciate the moment, because tomorrow will be here soon enough. So be present and live life one pitch at a time.
Is that a message to the players or the parents who are on pins and needles watching their girls play here in Waco, Texas? Welcome back to the Little League Softball Regionals on ESPN, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. 5 teams arrived here in Waco, Texas for the Little League Softball Southwest Regional. 1 team has been eliminated, but it was a great run by the All-Stars from Carlsbad Little League in New Mexico. Made it very, very close against this Texas East team from Industrial Little League. Also have Tulsa National, the team to beat. Kenner, Louisiana, that is East Bank Little League, which is a powerhouse in Little League softball. We will see them play Oklahoma later today. And in terms of proximity, these are the closest 2 teams to each other. Inez, Texas, about a 2.5-hour drive, depending on traffic, from Helotes, Texas, which is the north side of San Antonio. And familiarity between these teams as well. When you play ball that close to each other, word gets out on who the top players are and how those all-star squads are looking. Zoe Cavazos will lead off for Greater Helotes Little League. Roll, corn, roll, as they say in their dugout. And Kirsten Thomas back in the circle. It's a 2-0 lead for Texas West. And Zoe, first pitch smash, but look what I got, says Elle Collins.
Elle Collins fired up. Any out right now is an effective out, and that is how this team takes it. They see anything as a means for defense, gets to work. This is an easy catch for Collins, but just enforcing Thomas. Yeah, let them hit it. We got your back. We're going to eat it up. And Collins definitely the leader over there at shortstop. She controls her outfield very well. She controls her infield very well. I made the joke, she's like a Jimmy Jr., her dad being the head coach. Her softball IQ, they go out and they play softball all the time, and they talk softball all the time. Just really knows the game well.
And how about Thomas? Absolutely spotting those first 2 pitches, getting a cap there from Esmeralda Cuevas for the second out.
Thomas last inning in that second ended up giving up 2 runs, but 2 walks, which is very uncharacteristic of her. She typically pounds the zone so well, and she hits a lot of her spots for strikes. Seems to have reset really well in between those innings, and that's the mark of a good pitcher, is not dwelling on anything that may have happened in innings past, but being able to stay present and facing the batter that's in the box right now.
And that batter is Zelia Montemayor. Keep in mind with Thomas, too, really did an excellent job after Elle Collins had that rough slide into home plate scoring a run. Thomas got in the circle against a fantastic Oklahoma team and was really looking in control until those Oklahoma bats eventually got to her.
She held them down almost 3 times through that lineup. Really minimizing those swings.
And that is lifted, foul territory, long run, and it just gets down in front of Georgia New.
And on this field, there's a lot of foul ball space, more than you typically see in most fields. So whenever you're seeing them run, there's a lot of space for them to have to go in range. So it was a great job by Georgia New getting all the way over there.
We've seen some good
layouts.
layouts
where she's standing.
in foul territory. And this one hit in that direction, right center field, and it's down. Gray slips, and that is a base hit by the number 12 hitter in the lineup, Zelia Montemayor, her first here in Waco. Way to go, kid.
Talk about finding grass where no one is. This one kind of landing in that Bermuda Triangle in between second base, center field, and right field. It was down all the day.
First pitch, fantastic spot to Blakely Escaleta. Greater Helotes Little League, one of the biggest rosters here with 13 players. And so all 13 hit. And man, they can all swing it. Fortunately, that's another one that goes right to L. Collins. But it is a Greater Helotes team that's finding some barrels and holds a 2-0 lead. Welcome back to the Little League Softball Regionals on ESPN, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. An elimination game today here in Waco, Texas West, and a rematch with Texas East, leading yet again 2-0. Little League Softball Regionals continue with the debut of Little League Around the Bases, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Live coverage Sunday and Monday of every region from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+. To the 10th spot in the lineup of these continuous batting orders for Texas East, it's Chelsea Kretzer. And we talked a lot about Chelsea showing pigs and FFA. I actually had an opportunity to talk with the Industrial Little League All-Stars before this game. All sweet girls, by the way, that are so excited to be here.
They are great. And I feel like we could say the same about any team.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Here for the right reasons. Parents have done a tremendous job raising these girls. But so much pride when I brought up the pigs to her, and her teammate, Carly Black, was also quick to point out that she shows livestock as well and shows sheep. And that should be strike 3 for Chelsea. And that is another strikeout, number 4 for Avery Cox. And when you talk to these girls, you get a great indication of what life is like for them on a daily basis in Inez, Texas. It's a small town, and it is a lot of agriculture, a lot of ranching and livestock, and that is a way of life for these girls. Here is Carly Black. She shows 6 lambs, 6 days a week, about 3 hours a day in the barn, and then she goes to softball. She says it's like a competitive sport, and it is that competitive.
Oh, it's extremely serious. It is hard work, and again, you're looking at kids who are 10, 11, 12 years old, and they're doing this day in and day out. Like you said, 3 hours a day is no small time commitment. And then on top of that, she's committing to playing softball. So she's making that time. She's learning those lessons. I think it's so impressive whenever you get to talk to anybody.
I can tell you firsthand how expensive youth sports can be. Having kids, buying bats, gloves, helmets, etc. I have never had to buy a sheep trailer before. And Carly Black's parents have done that for their daughter so she can show her sheep. And this is another fine play between Kennedy White and Bailey Briseño. What a feel and range over there from first base and second base.
I love that trust between your first baseman and your second baseman. Whenever Kennedy White ranges over the second time that we've seen this is a right call. It's a slow roller. She knows that Briseño is going to be there. She knows whenever she gets up to throw, she will be right there on the base. She doesn't have to second guess or worry.
Here's Izzy Marquez. Check the swing, still hit it pretty hard, foul.
One thing that I love too, on plays like that, I look at Avery Cox and she's jumping up and down, celebrating the fact that her teammates are making those plays. It's not just about her, the strikeouts, but her teammates and getting the job done as well.
Here's the 0-1 to Izzy Marquez. And trying to wear out that right side, which her coaching staff wanted that to be the approach for all of these Industrial Little League hitters against a standout pitcher like Avery Cox. There's Jimmy Collins.
Just saw him gesturing. Hey, let that backhand get deep and extend all the way through.
Once again, right side. Another tough play handled perfectly by Kennedy White and Bailey Briseño, putting on a defensive clinic for the All-Stars from Greater Helotes Little League. A 2-0 lead for Texas West over Texas East. That was the final score in the first matchup, which was the first game to open up the Southwest Regional, as Texas West got that win. There's Elle Collins at shortstop, and she is putting on a show defensively. I want to get into the finer points of how you prepare to put on a defensive clinic like that.
Well, it all starts with how you wake up and how you put on your clothes, and for Elle Collins, how you put on your bows. The back of that ponytail, she says she wears her bows the same way every single game. She's all about that routine. And one thing that you notice with this defense is they're all about this routine. I feel like both teams putting on a defensive clinic, but for Industrial specifically, after a big inning, all of that going on, they stuck to those routines and they stayed within it.
Well, how about this, though? You heard the jeers because Texas East has decided to put Avery Cox on. So intentional walk, and this is why. Potential double play, slight bobble at second base, but they are able to get the lead runner in Avery Cox. Avery, she just wants to hit tanks. Hardly was pitched to at the state tournament. They have pitched to her so far here in Waco, and she's got 2 bombs. And so now
they're going to make her run again.
now she's getting the bat.
Just getting
she's getting the bat. So you can run for your catcher with 2 outs, and Rubio is the catcher. And in that circumstance, it would be the last out. So that would have been Cox. So Avery Montez is up. She's got 3 hits in this Southwest Regional, tied with Elle Collins for the most here in Waco.
Here you go, Ford. Let's go, Montez.
Wemby, her favorite athlete.
Way to hold on that one.
I'm not going to argue against that. Go Spurs, go.
Here you go, Ford. Let's go, Montez.
I was a Thunder fan after being in Oklahoma.
Oh,
so
come on. Get out of here.
that was a little
Get
sad.
out of here. Game 7, one for the ages.
We need you, Montez. Make contact.
Montez down 0-2.
Let's go. Make contact. Here you go, Ford.
Anything close, kid. Let's go.
Here's the 0-2 from Thomas. And that is down. It is away from New. And scooting up to second is Jackie Rubio. Good wheels
Let's go, Montez.
from Jackie. All right, we'll see if Jesse goes nuts.
Here you go, Love.
Watching his daughter here, Aubrey, who's been red hot. Chases that one. And it's 2 down.
Fired up. Look at Thomas after this pitch. She goes up in the zone, trying to get this hitter to go, oh, I want to see that high pitch. I want to chase after it. That is strategic, and I feel like we've seen that all inning long, starting from the intentional walk to the heavy hitter, Avery Cox. And then you go with Jackie Rubio. She gets the ground ball. You almost get the double play, but you get the lead out. And then what happens next? You get a huge strikeout to one of the hottest hitters here at this regional.
First strikeout for Kirsten Thomas, the starting pitcher for Industrial Little League. And we saw Aubrey Montez make her way to second base. She is the courtesy runner with the catcher Jackie Rubio here with 2 outs. Kennedy White stands in. Fantastic defensively at first base. Had 2 knocks in the first matchup against Industrial Little League. And reached on a walk her first time up in this matchup. Kenny, that's her nickname from her teammates.
Her walk was really the thing that started everything in that 2-run second.
She was the lead off there. Another walk to Trevino before Oliveras had the sac fly, and Bailey Cox had the rip to the fence to drive in a second run. That's how we got to this 2-0 lead for Texas West. Beautiful spot there from Thomas, and Kenny White now with a 2-2 count. Taking her time before this next pitch. The batter has to keep at least 1 foot in the batter's box. So we saw Kennedy White with that. And that is just paint and filth from Kirsten Thomas. Back-to-back strikeouts.
So good, she had to do it twice. This one, low and away, she gets a different strikeout. How about that? Sunglasses on, future too bright.
Having a great time here in Waco, Texas. Day number 3 of the Southwest Regional. Noah Galindo here with Nicole Mendez. 2-0 lead for Texas West. This is an elimination game. The winner survives and will take on the loser between Oklahoma and Louisiana. That match is later today, and the match for the winner and the loser will be tomorrow. Now, if you want to see some girls with game, tune into an exciting summer of softball and visit littleleaguesoftball.org for great content and information about starting a softball league and more. Got to find that shade. Awfully hot here in Waco, Texas. As fans are used to it. South Texas, that Inez heat, sure, is a force to be reckoned with as well. Now we've got a couple of the coach's daughters leading things off. Elle Collins, her dad, Jimmy Collins, coaching third base. And then Georgia New, one of the new twin sisters, daughters of the manager Devin New, will follow. And that is hit well, shortstop Lindley Reen fires to first, one down.
You mentioned Georgia New, and I think playing with your sister is so special. We've seen several siblings being able to be on the same team, but playing with your sibling and having your dad be able to be one of the coaches, that to me is not only special for the girls, but for dad as well. He was saying the song by Garth Brooks, Unanswered Prayers, holds a special place in his heart. He actually grew up wanting to have sons, and he was hoping to have them. He ended up having 4 daughters. And he said it was the biggest blessing that he could have ever, unanswered prayer that he could have ever done. But he turned his focus to the yellow ball instead of the white one. He got to coach his oldest daughter, Emma. She competed in the 2023 regional tournament that really sparked everything for this team and this community.
And when it comes to the daughters, Addie, the slightly younger of the twins, is the one that's really feisty. George a little more quiet and laid back. But I'm sure you get the two of them together with their sisters, and there's going to be some roughhousing, some fun as well. That's a strikeout there for Avery Cox, who is really settling in. And you got to keep in mind the way this game started. It was a leadoff single for Elle Collins, and then a couple of walks. And Texas East loaded the bases in that first inning, but Cox was able to get out of it with the strikeout. And since then, Avery Cox is just in control and mowing through this Industrial Little League lineup. Here is Bray Eagles, who had one of those walks in the first inning. To the right side, well hit, and over the head of the right fielder. Eagles with extra bases. Looking for 3, and Bray Eagles coming up with a clutch triple for Industrial Little League. A highlight defensive play and a highlight barrel for Bray.
Have a day, Bray Eagles. We were just talking about how good Cox has been and being able to take this pitch that is on the inside half and sends it oppo. And then not only that, how good, once you become a runner, knowing that ball going to the farthest part of the field, she says, I'm gonna take another bag, gets herself on third with 2 outs.
And that breaks up a streak of 9 straight retired by the ace, Avery Cox. First triple hit in this Southwest Regional by any player. And Kinsey Chambliss is in the box, knowing that she was the only Industrial Little League All-Star to have a hit against Avery Cox in the first matchup. 0-2.
Really good spin there by Cox on her curveball. Keeps it low, has some late bite, breaks away.
Avery Cox digging in and gets the strikeout. There's the sword. Her second strikeout of the inning leaves Eagles on third base. Still a 2-0 lead for the Greater Helotes Little League All-Stars of Texas West. Nicole Mendez, we've got web gems from both of these squads.
These defenses came up to play. I mean, back-to-back defensive, offensive plays that we've seen, but I think the story here has been that left side of the field. Shortstop, third base, they have been ranging over time and time again. Nothing can get past them. They're like monsters over there just scooping everything up.
They know what's on the line. They want to keep playing on ESPN tomorrow.
Getting to meet Amanda Scarborough.
Get to win and beat Amanda, that's good motivation there. And man, if you lose, it's summertime blues and thinking about back to school. No one wants to do that, ever. This is what our bracket is looking like. Oklahoma and Louisiana will play the second game. Winner of that advances to Wednesday's championship game. And then the loser of that game will play the winner of this game. Now, whoever comes out of that elimination bracket, that championship game, it's winner take all. It's not like we see on the college level where there's going to be a team there that's undefeated. You're not going to have to beat them twice. You only need to win once to move on to Greenville in the Little League Softball World Series. 5-day event here. Everybody in Waco has been tremendous. Everybody here at the George W. Bush Leadership Training Center, top notch. All the volunteers, we need to give them a shout out because all of these coaches that invest so much time into their kids and their little leagues and communities deserve a hats off. And all the umpires here, they're all volunteers as well, and they have umpired at an extremely high level over these past 3 days.
The amount of talent that we've seen, they have just done a great job with our fair foul calls, with the strike zone, with being able to see safe and out. We've had some really tough plays with tough tags. We've just done a phenomenal job. And not to mention the heat that they have been in with 2 games every single day.
Here's Bailey Briseño, big fan of Toy Story. Can't blame her. That franchise as good as it gets. And showing the wheels here. Eagles with the throw to first. And Eagles, the cannon arm, the great leather, the hot bat. She's doing it all for Industrial Little League.
Eagles crashing in. As soon as she saw the hand square around, she was able to get that ball fielded, didn't stop her momentum. Gets the out at first with a speedy Briseño headed down there. Have to be on point with those throws.
This is a high-level game from both these teams. Clean softball. It's moving briskly. Great energy. Fantastic watch. This is Emily Trevino. Loves the Dodgers. Wonder how they made that happen when you're in Texas and you got the Astros and the Rangers.
I was thinking the same thing. Maybe it's like the colors. We were talking yesterday about why do some girls like certain schools and all this, and sometimes the answer is because their colors are pretty.
and they're good. Then they're always good. But yeah, those unis certainly are sharp. Emily wants your job one day. She wants to be a sports analyst.
We'll talk after the game. I'll find you. I think it's so cool, just all the opportunities that you get just from playing a game with a yellow ball.
That's in there for a strike. And not throwing it down quite yet, because that makes it a full count. Great discipline and a plate appearance there by Emily Trevino. 1-out walk.
We're starting to hear just a little bit more chatter in that dugout for Texas West. The energy getting up. We only go 6 innings, so here in the top of the 5th, we're starting to enter towards that latter half of the game. We want to get a couple more runs across the board.
Peyton Olivares looking to try to move over the runner, drive her in. Olivares had the huge sac fly to center field, which got Texas West on the board to make it 1-0. Also has a double to her credit. That's under Eagles and through. Runners on first and second, one out.
That one takes a funky hop, and Eagles, who has been so solid, not just with the phenomenal plays, but the ones right to her, gets tricked just a little bit by that hop.
That brings up an absolute wild animal. It's Bailey Cox.
Let her out of the cage.
Yes. The cage being the dugout. And there's going to be a visit to the circle as Devin New comes out to talk with Kirsten Thomas and the rest of the defense.
I feel like this is a very timely timeout to just get your defense reset. Eagles, who has been so solid, just reassuring her, hey, we got to force out at third. If we can, let's get a double play. But then also knowing who's up to bat. Bailey Cox, who had that absolute smokes line drive. Her last at-bat was able to have an RBI. So just calling a little bit of strategy. Bailey Cox doesn't look like she minded that timeout at all. She's like, I'm ready.
You can't ice Red Rocket.
Come on.
Which brings me to a joke, Bailey Cox's favorite joke. Why did the bicycle fall over?
Because it had one wheel, I don't know.
It was too tired. Straight from the Bailey Cox collection. Upstairs, ball one.
I got the wheel portion
Yeah,
of
you
it,
did.
right?
You
Yeah.
followed it pretty good. Voted by most of her teammates as the biggest prankster on the team and personality. Loves playing with big sister, Avery. That ball is hit well and flipped. Collins to second base. They get the lead out. And so it's runner on the corners now with one out. Good play there by L. Collins. 2 outs, excuse me.
That was great placement up the middle. Not hit hard enough to where they're able to get it before Cox is able to get down to first, so no double play. But the most important thing, you move that runner over to third.
Trying to get Emily Trevino home. Here's the shortstop, Lindley Reen. The slap, and this is going to be a tough play. Reen to first, the throw gets away, another run scores. This squibs into right field, and here comes another run for Greater Helotes Little League. Trevino and Cox score. Jesse Montez waving the flag. We got dance moves. We got corn. We got ducks with corn. Having the ball here in Waco, Texas.
I love it. Talk about chaos-inducing. Time and time again, all throughout this regional, we have seen that whenever you apply pressure consistently to defenses, that offense tends to find a way to break through. And this one is a perfectly placed soft slap by Reen, being able to make Collins, who is so strong defensively, have to speed up and rush. Gets 2 RBIs in.
This is a mile high, and the catch is made by Collins. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Remember, we play 6-inning games, so it is getting close to go time for Industrial Little League. Welcome back to Little League Softball Regionals on ESPN, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. A 2-0 lead has grown into a 4-0 lead for Texas West as we go to the bottom of the 5th in this elimination game with Greater Helotes Little League Texas West and Industrial Little League Texas East. Little League and ESPN are proud members of the Aspen Institute's Project Play 63 by 30, which is focused on getting 63% of kids playing sports by 2030. Learn more about what Little League is doing to get kids on the field and all about the ESPN Take Back Sports initiative by visiting littleleague.org/Project Play. Sports, that is the main fabric that keeps the community of Inez, Texas together. Was talking with the All-Stars before the start of the game. Brought up, it's a small town, under 3,000 people. What do you girls do? We play sports. And they play all the sports, most of these girls.
A lot of these girls will play 5, 6, even 7 sports. They just love to be out there, getting active, being moving. And when they're not playing sports, they're doing FFA.
Yes.
They like to stay busy. But it's been really cool to follow this team and just their story, learning their history back in 2023. Just what that team sparked for the sport of softball in that community.
Kirsten Thomas goes down on strikes. Avery Cox now with 7 strikeouts, 3 since the start of last inning.
Avery Cox just finding her stride, sticking to that outside corner. It has been tough for those hitters to be able to get that barrel across that plate. Some filthy movement on her curve.
Olivia Garcia swings at strike 1. Wants to meet Patty Gasso one day because she wants to play for Patty Gasso in college. That's a good coach to play for.
She's a pretty good lady.
You're going to win some games and develop as a person and as a player in Gasso's program.
I remember the first time I ever met Patty Gasso, and the biggest thing that stood out to me, I had talked to a lot of college coaches at that point, and talking to her, and she's like, at the trophies, you'll see them. But when you come here, you're going to learn how to become a woman. You're going to learn how to develop. You're going to learn how to grow and become your own person. And that, to me, I think is what sports teaches you along the way. And you get lucky to be able to go as far as you can. You're going to learn those lessons.
And there is Cox with the strikeout. And unfortunately, this is one of those games where one of these teams has to go home. But honestly, at this age, learning to deal with disappointment is a big life lesson as well. No one wants a run like this to end, but when you can learn how to handle losses at a young age with class and integrity, those are lessons that will help you in life as you get older. This ball is well hit, left field and down. Addie New coming up with the knock. Not ready to go home quite yet. It's a fist pump from her pops, Devin, over there at first base. And the Twins are having an outstanding Southwest Regional, making Dad proud.
A little bit of celebration there over at first.
You know what that is? That's curbside DJ. The girls also brought this up in a pregame conversation. That's the move of curbside DJ. Who is he? He's a DJ that plays on the side of the road in nearby Victoria, Texas, and that's his go-to move when you drive by curbside DJ.
Gotta raise the roof.
Yes,
Whoop, whoop.
yes.
Hey, I'm gonna have to go to Victoria. I gotta check this guy out.
They're trying to get Jimmy Collins to do it over there at third base, but he was a little hesitant to pull out the curbside DJ.
Come on, Jimmy. Coach Jimmy Collins. Let's see it.
And the girls were so cute. They all said, shout out, curbside DJ.
Curbside DJ, if you're listening, you got some more fans.
And it may be DJ Curbside. It's one of the two. Just know these girls from Industrial Little League love you. Here's Kinsey Weinheimer, favorite softball player, Carlin Pickens. Kenzie's dad, Clint, also on the staff with Industrial Little League. 1-2 from Cox. Hit well to second base, but that's not the place to put the softball today because Brasenio and White have been perfect. We go to the 6th inning, the final frame of this elimination game in Waco. The Little League Softball Regionals on ESPN are presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. A long summer of softball, unfortunately, coming to the close for one of these teams. The winner, however, gets to play on ESPN tomorrow. That is a very, very big deal for these girls. And these are two of the regions here in Waco that have done an outstanding job winning the Southwest. Texas West with 11. The last in 2023, Texas East with 4, the last coming in 2015. And Greater Helotes Little League, they were a team that have not only won the Southwest, but have won it all at the Little League Softball World Series. Trying to do that yet again. Looking for a little more insurance with a 4-0 lead here in the final inning, the top of the 6th. Esmeralda Cuevas leading off for Greater Helotes Little League. That is down from Kirsten Thomas, who has been a warrior in the circle for Industrial Little League.
At some point during the last half inning, we saw her in the background in that dugout, and she's bent over and has the fan directly right in front of her face. We talked about the advantage of being the first game today, right? You have less heat. It's not no heat, but it's less heat, but we're nearing that high noon hour.
And you can see walking in the background there, the All-Stars from Tulsa National Little League are in the house. They will play in our next game against the All-Stars from East Bank, representing Louisiana. Both those teams opened up with wins. That ball is smashed foul. Winner of that game goes straight to the championship game. They got their spot on ESPN. So 2016, that's when Greater Helotes Little League won it all after winning the Southwest Regional, won the Little League Softball World Series.
Here you go, 7-8. Here you go, Ez.
And that is a leadoff walk for Cuevas.
I think really cool about that is some of those girls from that 2016 team went on to play in college, are now coaching. So some of those girls, they play on other teams outside of Little League, and they are coached by those girls that are on or were on that 2016 team. So not only do they have a really good coach who's been able to talk about, yeah, I've been there, I've done that, but also they have that relationship where they're cheering them on from afar as well.
That's also the cool thing about this. The biggest piece of this puzzle at this age is the experience, and that's what we celebrate, the path to this point and the relationships that they build and how you represent your community. But also inside of that context, there is a ton of talent here that we will see some of these girls play in college. Some of them play major college softball as well. Runner moves up. Cuevas takes second base. Oh, the scuba.
A quick scuba. Scoop it on over to second.
That was a dad joke.
You sound surprised.
You've been hanging around me too long.
You're right.
Well
Get me out of
done,
here.
Nicole.
Get me out of here.
Oh, goodness. Fly out to center field. One down. What have you become?
You.
It's not good. Here's Blakely Escaleta, ground ball to third base. Eagles, one an arm, and the throw to third, not in time as Cuevas moves up 60 feet. Back to the top of the lineup, Avery Cox, what do you do here? You intentionally walked her last time up?
I think you're in a situation where I want to go right at her. I want to see if I can get this girl out, see if I can pitch around. I feel like the situation is also very different. And the way that Thomas has been pitching this inning also feels very different.
She's got 2 home runs, the most for any player nationally in the various regionals. The only player with a home run here in the Southwest Regional. These are pitcher-friendly confines, so the fence is about 200 feet away. It's tough to get a softball out at this age, but no doubters for Cox. One to left field and one an absolute nuke to right. Here we go. Buckle up for these barrels.
Yeah, Lowell, to your point, these were no doubters. It wasn't right over the fence. It was well over the fence. That was a home run to left field, and that was in game 1. And then she does the same thing again later in another game, game 2, then very next day, hits the batting cages out in right center.
Wait, that wasn't the replay. That looked exactly like the rip to right. That was live. Oh my goodness, Avery Cox. That's number 3. And that is the exact spot that she hit her second home run to on the line. I thought we were in the replay again.
We're riding it all the way home into the dugout. I mean, I feel like I just called this. I thought that was a replay, but she loves a little bit of deja vu. Sends it deep out to right center. This is identical to the home run that she hit yesterday.
That is a take. That hit the net of the batting cage that's way out there in right field. And she's got the corn, the Helotes on the cabeza.
She's the corn queen. Safe to say, not only has the most home runs here, as you mentioned, but in any regional across the country, there's been no more than 2 home runs. She has 3 home runs by herself.
And that also answered my question. What do you do with Avery Cox here? Not pitch to her was the correct answer. No one did pitch to her at the state tournament. She's getting pitches to hit. The ball was annihilated. It was on a line.
3 home runs, 3 days.
And keep in mind, there were no out of the park, over the fence home runs here in Waco last season. There was one, and it was an inside the parker. And most of the home runs that we are seeing nationally are inside the park home runs. Not like those. That's different.
Yeah, not for the Queen of Corn. She is the reigning champ for the long ball.
Here's Jackie Rubio. Jackie Rubio. Favorite video game is MLB The Show. It's up there in my top 2.
Learned a lot of knowledge just watching as well. I think there's something to be said for playing the game, but whenever you get to watch it, you learn so many things and you get to see so many different styles of play and strategies. I think that's also another reason why Little League being on TV is so cool.
Yeah.
You get to see girls your age doing the same thing. You get to see girls who are older than you doing it and going, man, I want to do that one day. Mom, Dad, let's play Little League. I want to be in the opportunity to get to Greenville, North Carolina and go to the World Series.
And also, it's great to see the different types of players, the different ages, and how everybody grows and develops and finds their role at different times. So run your own race. Not everybody is going to be Avery Cox, but have fun playing the game and enjoy the moment. There's Jackie Rubio with a single to left field. She's all smiles, as she should be. But there's so many different ways to help a team. And you look at the lineup for Greater Helotes Little League, there's players like Avery Cox that is one of the best players in America. And then there's also some players that just know their role. Lindley Reen, a tremendous slapper, plays a really good shortstop. She's not as big as Avery Cox is. She can't leave the yard, but she can find a way to help her team win. And we have a pinch runner as Blakely Escaleta, the last out, comes in to run for Jackie Rubio. And here is Aubrey Montez. Aubrey has been on top of it. 3 hits coming into this third game for Texas West here in Waco. And that one is smoked to left center field. That is in the gap. And Aubrey Montez scooting to second base. And cue up the luchador mask. Let's see Jesse, her dad, who I'm sure is staying very well composed in his get-up.
He was reaching for the flag.
Oh, watch the step, Jesse, watch the step. Don't trip over the fan, my guy.
And there it is. The fan being waved high up in the air in the scuba. I love that, the passion. Not just the girls, but the parents. Don't typically see too many people dressed up the way Jessie is, but you've seen the shirts that have been custom made and everyone, all the parents are wearing it, all the siblings are wearing it. You've heard the cheers that are custom to every single region and every single Little League that has been coming through this regional, and I'm sure all across the country. But just the buy-in to something that's a little bit bigger than yourself, it's the buy-in to your community.
And we have a little break because a new pitcher is in the circle now for Industrial Little League. This is going to be Elle Collins. So Collins started the first 2 games in the circle for Industrial Little League. And will come in place of Kirsten Thomas.
New pitcher for Texas East.
We've seen her show off the leather at shortstop. You see, voted most likely to go pro by her teammates. She has such a high IQ as a hitter, as a defender, but also as a pitcher. She's one of the smartest pitchers in this staff, in this lineup. She's able to move that ball all across the zone. And right now, Elle Collins coming into relief is we need to get one more out to get out of this inning. Help us feed our defense. That has been the strategy all game long, is feed your defense. Try and get out of this 6th inning.
Kennedy White is a hitter. She's got her sleeves rolled up. Means business. Sliced it, foul right side. Special talent, according to Kennedy White, is making her eyebrow rise like The Rock.
Nobody better, Kennedy.
Talent I unfortunately do not possess.
That's up And the runner will stay put at third base. She was asked about what she collects. Now this is a response that I love. Quote, "I collect dubs on the field," end quote. Yeah.
She's a gamer. Oh, Collins, you'll see a lot of rise and drop from her. So she likes to change the level of these hitters, but she was just at shortstop, so she didn't have any time to warm up. She's coming in, trying to get warm as she's throwing. That rise ball just out of the zone.
To right field and down. That's going to score at least one run. And two come around to plate. Kennedy White smashed it. Collecting dubs, hitting the scuba. Adding corn, having the time of her life.
I feel like every time we look, there's more corn on that fence.
It's growing.
I think it's because every time you get a hit, you gotta add some more corn, keep that rally going, and White does a really good job of placing this one into right center. Again, that no man's land. This outfield, this field itself is a pretty big field, bigger than we see most. So there's a lot of room in the outfield. If you find grass, odds are it's gonna find not a glove, but just a long way to run.
The thing I really appreciate, too, about Texas West and the way this team has been put together, there's 13 girls on this roster. You can make the argument, if you are here to try to win, you have a smaller roster, so your better hitters get up more frequently. But that's not the approach here. The approach here is to celebrate and reward the players that deserve to be selected to this all-star team, regardless if that is 11 or 13. That's the way this should be approached. Also helps when you have 13 players that can absolutely get the job done. There's Briseño down to first base.
That one just tips off the glove, third strike drop. But whenever there's two outs, even if there's a runner standing on first base, if there's two outs, it is free game. So that's why she's not out and she's able to make it over to first safely, because she got there before the throw.
Now it's Simile Trevino. Big cut. She also wants to be a sports analyst. This is our Amanda superfan. Competes in cross country. What a spot there from Elle Collins.
It's like Elle Collins starting to get a little bit more warmth, being able to find the zone. Again, just trying to get out of this inning.
Emily Trevino pointed out that the highlight of her season was breaking her dad's toe during batting practice in the spring. Her dad, John, is one of the coaches on this team.
Sure, that might not be Dad's favorite.
Well, depending on how hard you hit it, it may be.
Maybe a little proud.
Yeah, like, I'm proud of you, girl. That was hard enough to break my toe.
Here you go, 1-9, let's go. Good.
2-2.
These two teams, both from Texas. Texas being split up, had to face each other in the very first game. Now facing each other again. And I feel like Texas West, after yesterday, just had a fire lit underneath them.
Yeah.
They just have been scoring throughout this game so consistently. You see the score now 8-0. They've been consistently putting the ball in play hard. I mean, just look at that. Scored in the second, scored in the fifth, scored now in the sixth.
And that puts an end to the top of the 6th. Collins gets the strikeout. And no, this is not, well, it is a replay, but we thought it was a replay of yesterday, and it was the real thing. I mean, it's Avery Cox just doing it again. 3 bombs? Come on now.
Avery Cox, 3 home runs so far today. Dynamite in the mound, just after hitter after hitter after hitter goes at these players. She's just been so dominant. 9 strikeouts so far on the day. And then she got walked once this game because they were nervous. They weren't sure what to do with her the next time she came up. Well, she hit the home run. She wanted to wear that corn crown. That was her sole goal today, I think. I mean, I want to wear that corn crown. She's just been phenomenal.
You gave her a nickname, the Corn Queen. I think that one's sticking as well. So a dominant performance by Avery Cox. Also, her defense around her has been fantastic. So it's not just the Cox sisters in this game, but the right side defense, what we've seen from Briseño and Kennedy White, they've had her back, and the bats. And the rest of her lineup has also really picked up. But look at that line. 21 strikeouts, 2 walks, come on.
Yeah, this is her in just a couple of games. That is what you want to see from your ace pitcher, is she settled in. Whenever you compare what this team as a whole, Texas West, looked like yesterday compared to what they looked like today, it is night and difference. The thing that stands out to me is the way Cox has attacked hitters. She fell behind whenever she is dominant. She's getting that strike in that first couple of pitches. Up until last inning, she had faced 20 batters. 13 of them had been first pitch strikes.
Now batting number 20.
Winner here stays alive and will face the loser of our next game between Oklahoma and Louisiana. And the winner of that matchup will go to the championship game. The loser here, it is time to think about going back to school, which is not fun for anybody. Zoe Gray trying to spark a rally here as we are in the bottom of the 6th. We play 6-inning games in Little League Softball. A group of girls from Inez, Texas. 8 of them have played together since T-ball. They've grown as sisters, they've grown in the community, grown as a team, and they have as tight of a bond as you will find in a Little League All-Star team. Future Industrial High School Cobras. Small Inez, Texas. As this is grounded to Briseño. Gold Glove winner over there at second base.
Tell you what, somebody keep an eye out for that high school team. They're gonna be good.
Goodness.
You know, softball in Texas, it's a serious thing in high school. So I love the fact that they've had all these years to fine tune. I'm sure the high school coach does too.
I'm sure once these girls, if it does not go their way here in the bottom of the 6th, will be welcomed back to Inez like superstars. Hopefully, the good people at the Bomb Diggity, the lone restaurant in town, take care of this team.
We'll come up with some cheese curds.
Yeah, so the mozzarella cheese curds, according to the girls, that's the second best menu item. The chicken tendies, number one at the Bomb Diggity. And what a name for a restaurant. No stoplights, one stop sign, the Bomb Diggity, and a Dollar General.
That's all you need.
And a lot of sports and livestock. But Texas West, they've really come out. They've made a statement. It was a tough loss against Oklahoma. A team that looks like the squad 2 beat here in Waco. And they are closing in on an appearance on ESPN tomorrow. And a shot for either Oklahoma or Louisiana. And another elimination game.
And again, the stakes just getting higher the farther along we go. But it always helps that Avery Cox, she's had majority of the load in the circle, just such a dependable pitcher for this team. And where she goes, they go.
And that is a beautiful pitch. The sword. And that is up to 9 strikeouts now for Avery Cox. So 13 strikeouts the first time she saw Texas East. 9 here tonight, and 1 out away from a trip to tomorrow's game to face the loser between Louisiana and Oklahoma. And that is now a reality as Cox snares it. And the Greater Helotes Little League All-Stars with an enormous 8-0 win behind brilliant pitching from Avery Cox. That slam to right also by Avery Cox. Great support by the families and friends that have made the trip to Waco. Sterling defense and team offense as well. But to the All-Stars from Industrial Little League, it was so much fun watching you play the game that you love with the teammates that you obviously love. Everybody back in Inez, Texas is proud of you, and it was a great show from Industrial Little League. Future is so bright for those girls.
You look at some of those athletes, some of the defensive plays, some of the pitching that we saw. It was such a great outing. I'm sure they're going to take it, use it, fuel themselves. We'll definitely see them back, at least some of them, in the near future.
Chicken tendies at Bomb Diggity. That will make you feel better. Next game, Oklahoma and Louisiana. Winner there advances to the championship game, and Texas West tomorrow will take on the loser of that game with the winner there going to that championship on Wednesday. Climbing the fences. That was job of Bailey Cox a day ago. Cox had a big shot. Older sister Avery was even better with another home run. And it's all Texas West. 8-0 victors.